What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. It is Dylan and Ross Save Sports here on Full Press Coverage, Full Press Radio Network. Dylan Sanders at Dilly Sanders, myself, Ross Jackson at Ross Jackson Nola on Twitter. Make sure you go ahead and throw us a follow, say hi, say hello, and also we want to welcome in, as you can see, for those of you that are watching on video live from all of our platforms, we are joined by a very special guest. Below us is Ian Glendon, who has come through to join us today at iGlenn, Glen 31 on Twitter. Ian was the one who was crazy enough to give us this show and allow us to jump onto his network here at Full Press Coverage. So we wanted to make sure that we had Ian here today for our 1 year anniversary. Ian, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for thinking of me and having me on because, you're not the first one to call me crazy. And I'm pretty sure that's not a mistake.
Yeah, I think it was a prerequisite for Dylan and I to get this show anyway, was that we had to be equally crazy.
Well, we bonded right away. So right. The crazy, we were on the same level of crazy. So.
Ross, I'm actually upset that you that we thought of having Ian join, because now he's going to remember that we do this every day and then watch an episode and realize the mistake he's made.
Notes.
We appreciate it. Man, it's been such a fun time here. Dylan and I here on June 1st of last year got started here with the show and with Full Press Coverage. And Ian is the editor-in-chief over at Full Press Coverage and editor of a couple of different sites here as well. And of course, one half of the Full Press Radio live morning show that we have here along with Mike Debate. We wanted to take this opportunity to be able to have this show and sort of, give and bring folks on that have been huge for us in terms of our development and our part within the show and elsewise. And of course, you've been such a huge part of that. So this is, all jokes will come, but it is also an opportunity for us to say thank you for opening the door and allowing us to have this avenue to be able to have a little bit of fun every day.
No, it's great, and look, I should be thanking you guys because you put on a great show each and every day, and it gives myself as someone else who does a show every day on this network a motivation to kind of step it up a little bit. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, how do they come up with all these great ideas? Here I am scratching my head, and I'm like, oh, I'll just talk about Tom Brady. Well, no, these guys got to figure it out. So,
actually, it's funny because I wake up every morning and be like, I don't want to talk about Tom Brady today, and then that's what leads to everything else.
Well, that's why I'm here. I'm clearly, obviously, I'm wearing the shirt. Huge supporter, and I do enough talking in that 1 hour block that we have every morning. But no, all jokes aside, it's been an absolute pleasure. And then obviously, extending beyond just the show, being able to just know the both of you and be able to become friends with the both of you. That's obviously what the big picture about this business has really been for me personally. And I'm getting ready to take a trip back to where I come from, back in Massachusetts. I haven't been there since I moved. And, I'm going to see a bunch of people I haven't seen in a while. And I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, there's some really good friends. And then I know all these people that I've literally never met my entire life. You mentioned Mike earlier. I've known him for 5 years, never met him before in my life. But still, some of my closest friends and coworkers. And, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference because, again, it's just how we all operate. And it, I guess, again, it speaks to how we're all crazy and we kind of mesh together. So it works out well.
We very much enjoy it, man, and we've had such a blast here. And it's funny because, like, for Dylan and I, it was kind of similar. Like, we didn't really meet one another in person until the Senior Bowl. Like, that was when when he picked me up from the airport. Yeah, when he picked me up from the airport, that was the first time we ever saw each other. And then I flew back, immediately after I saw him, and I was like, no, there's no way this is happening. And then, but it's all good. But it's all good. But it was weird to just see him in person. We only talked through Zoom the entire time that we were there anyway, just to make sure that we kept the dynamic.
Only on FaceTime.
Yeah.
We stood in separate rooms
right in front of each other, but you got the laptop. Okay, I get that. That makes sense. You got to ease into it.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We actually had to call Megan and have her FaceTime so that we could see Ross's wall because I had just missed it somehow.
Right. Which I did not also wear today. I almost did. Because I always forget that I have a shirt that is exactly this, and just big floating head.
Yeah. So you should do that more often. Actually, I cannot explain it to anyone. Just do it. Just don't make any comment and just see what people say, because I enjoyed it.
Yeah. But it's been such a blast for us to be here, and as we look back through some highlights of what we've done here over the last year, I think that still one of the highlights was actually something for us that didn't take place on air, but the meeting that we did at the beginning of the year to come together and kind of say, hey, here's what we want to do for the rest of the year. I don't know about you guys, but that was such a recharging moment coming back into the year of that it was particularly, but having this show, having these connections have been really, really helpful over this time for sure.
Well, and think about when June 1st of last year, what we were in the middle of. Just
right.
We really didn't know at that point. I mean, hell, we had hopes that there was going to be an NFL season. I mean, Tom Brady only had 6 Super Bowls at that time. I mean, now we've gone through a full NFL season. Fans are back in the stands. I mean, we're in the midst of the Stanley Cup playoffs and the NBA playoffs. Tom has 7 rings. I think I mentioned that already, but just in case, I want to do it again. And but no, seriously, going into that stretch of time where there was so much. What do you talk about when there's no sports? Right. Not just out of season NFL, but literally no sports.
Right.
And then to evolve and change and deal with the just unique situations that we felt, and knowing that it looks like, we're heading towards a pretty normal NFL season this year. And I'm pretty excited for that and what we can do together as shows and everything like that. So
yeah, definitely. Dylan, what is kind of one of your the biggest highlight for you so far throughout this year? Do you have one that stands out?
Gentrified collard greens.
Gentrified collard greens is still one of the best jokes we've had on the show. That's gonna stand tall for a long time.
Actually, Ross, I do have a couple friends that want to come through and say hi.
All right.
Yeah, y'all can come.
Oh, yes, of course. Of course.
Hello. We just want to say that I want to thank y'all because every time y'all come through, I get the kitchen to myself. I can have some gumbo and can recruit some players.
That's great. Caucho, I don't know if you've got the chance yet to meet Ian, but Ian is the...
Ian.
Yeah. He's the reason that we're here.
Oh man! I know. Yeah, whenever you come down here, we'll go to gumbo. Go down here.
Wow!
Coach, you can Coach. You can go. You're good now. Okay, all right, that's it. That's
wow.
Thanks, Coach. I gotta. Oh, is it? Oh.
All right.
Ian, you like movies, right?
Yeah, I love movies.
I actually have a famous actor here.
Oh, I can't wait. Who is it? Can I guess?
Please guess. No, wait, please guess.
I have no idea. I have no reference to it. So I was going to just say Keanu Reeves.
Close. Really close, actually. Go ahead and introduce yourself, mystery guest.
I'm Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, everybody. Michael Caine is back. Very close to Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, Michael Caine. What's the difference, really?
Wait, why didn't y'all tell me my camera fell?
I don't know. It's so weird. That's so weird.
We could have had these people. We could have milked them for views, guys.
It's all right.
I need y'all to step those games up.
It's all right. We're not here just to get views. It was a pleasure to be able to speak. And Michael Caine, I know he's a student of acting.
Oh, he ran away. Right. He's crying in the corner now.
Okay.
Oh man, now we're back. Okay.
There we go.
I thought I saw a shadow just disappear in the background.
Yeah,
that must have been him.
Yeah.
What a whirlwind that must have been for you in your room to just have Coach O and Michael Caine fighting for space.
They're here so often. I'm used to it.
Yeah. What really impresses me the most is that them switching headphones, getting the headphones from one person to another so quickly.
I actually have a 3-way headphone jack, and they're both sitting in the corner now.
They just have
their headphones. Yeah, I have a 3-way headphone jack.
That makes sense.
Oh, well, I'm glad we got to have them come through for 1 year, Thanks for coming through, guys.
Oh, man.
I love it. Oh my goodness.
You know, so sometimes we have Rodney Dangerfield come by our show, but that's very few and far. You know, he's dead, so sometimes it's
Right.
tough
Yeah,
going,
it's hard.
you know, especially at 9 o'clock in the morning. So.
Yeah, very busy schedule for him.
Yes.
I imagine right now. It's like like noon to 11:59 a.m. just dead.
Dead.
Like, that's packed. It's packed.
Just dead.
It's a
Till he
packed schedule.
arises, come on our show.
Man.
Love it, man.
So, Ian, do you regret it yet? It's my biggest question for you. Do you regret giving us a platform?
Yeah, I got to think about that question for a minute. What's the meaning of that question? How does that? No, of course not. Because if I say something stupid in the morning, I know by the time evening rolls around, you guys have said something that may have distracted them from the stupid thing that I said. Because I say a lot of stupid things. Yeah. So in that sense, I don't regret it at all, because that to me takes the pressure off. Like if I had to close the day out, you know, that could be a lot tougher.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, we've got you covered. I mean, anything that you say in the morning show that could be, you know, newsworthy, we'll distract from it immediately.
Good.
Well,
Right.
yeah,
It's totally fine.
we'll have people calling us idiots for putting Brussels sprouts in our top 4 Thanksgiving foods.
Which by the way, is not a bad choice.
Yeah, well, no, not to us, but
Right.
to normal humans, maybe.
The Brussies, phenomenal.
Well, you know, first of all, I didn't know what that was until about 3 weeks ago when I can't remember what that tweet exchange was, but all I know is I didn't know what it was. I don't hate Brussels sprouts. I just don't know if they belong in a Thanksgiving.
Oh wow, yikes!
Right. But then again,
And now we're actually having connection issues with Ian, where he's cut out.
How wild is it that happened? Like right when you talk bad about Brussels sprouts. That's wild. I hope you've learned your lesson. That's so good. But I'm so glad you're back. We're so glad you're back.
yeah, well, you know, technology sometimes it can be tough, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm there's two things I've started the last week or so reducing the amount of caffeine that I take in, so that I'm adjusting to that, and I'm also adjusting to not having control over the screen right now. That's it's something. It's an internal struggle for me right now. But I have been known to have some apparently controversial Thanksgiving food takes that I'm not quite sure.
What is
you guys?
What is your most controversial Thanksgiving food take?
By far, that turkey is just something that people have been conditioned to say they like, but no one actually likes it because it's dry and it's disgusting. And the only way it's edible is if you have to overdo it, like gravy, stuffing, all, you know. Why do you think people stuff turkey full of it? Because turkey sucks and you need something else to make it taste actually good. And the only reason people enjoy it is because tradition. That's it.
This is fantastic content. And you're absolutely
That's what I'm
correct.
here for.
Turkey is merely the vehicle for everything you love about Thanksgiving food.
Yep. And trust me,
that's it.
if our ancestors, if the first Thanksgiving they served ham instead of turkey, everyone would enjoy Thanksgiving that much more. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Yeah. I think there are a few adjustments to the very first Thanksgiving that would allow us to
There's if you really want to get into it, there's a lot you can change about that particular day. But
yeah, for sure. But you're 100% right. But you're 100% right. If it was merely just a celebration of ham as opposed to a celebration of turkey, we would very much enjoy Thanksgiving a lot more. Thanksgiving dinner
I
a
love
lot more.
Thanksgiving. I'm just saying, you know, I'm just here to speak the truth, and that's what I try to tell people when they tell me I'm wrong, and I'm just like, you just haven't awoken yet.
Right.
I'm not here to yeah, exactly.
Sleeple. I love it. I have to say probably one of my favorite memories this year on air probably came about very recently with the Joshua Kelly interview.
Mm-hmm.
That was such a fun interview and such a fun he was such a fun guy that was willing to like have fun but also, you know, speak on some pretty serious topics, which we've done here on the show often and everything. And a big thank you to you, Glendon, for allowing us that platform to where we could have conversations around like Yeah. Say again.
I said you're welcome, Jackson.
Oh yeah. Oh, did I call you Glendon? That's weird.
Yeah, I just went back to my hockey days.
That's great. That's perfect.
Oh good. Oh good.
But yeah, I mean, like having this sort of platform to be able to use and have like honest conversations and everything has been another part of like the highlight of the year, is that we've been allotted that space.
And you know, and that's something that, you know, I want to keep. Obviously, we're quote unquote sports network, but you know, as you know, sports are so much more than just what's happening on the field, and that can mean anything. Obviously, from politics to just, you know, obviously the current state that we're in now. You know, so there's a lot of avenues that you can go, and then obviously, you know, avenues that are completely unrelated to sport, but it makes for a more entertaining show, I feel like, because, you know, you want to reach your passions. You want to talk about the things you want to talk about. And yeah, sports is the foundation of it, but you know, you can accomplish a lot of things on a sports show without actually talking about sports. And I personally think that keeps the audience a little bit more engaged, because, like, you know, there's a lot of great sports shows out there. Obviously, Ross, you're involved with a great sport specific podcast network, and
Thank you.
You know, those Locked On, obviously I want to give them the plug, and you know, you go there for that, but you know, sometimes you want a little bit of a mix of both, and that's what obviously Mike and I try to do, and then you guys obviously I think perfect very well. So
I think it's the first time I've ever heard that we perfected anything, Dylan.
Yeah,
Can we
well,
add that? Can we add that to the tagline somehow or another? Like, can we build a tagline around that?
well, I can tell you this: the reason I use the word perfect. I don't know why I'm mispronouncing it. Probably to buy myself some time while I try to find this soundbite, but of which I apparently don't have. So this is a massive fail right now. But usually when I say perfect, it just allows me to play Mr. Perfect's theme song. Yeah. So and I thought I had it right.
Now we're hearing it now.
Yeah, it's okay. It's in your head. If not, I'll start singing it or humming it at least.
Oh yeah, I love that song. Oh, Mr. Perfect. I can't remember.
Wow. Oh, Dylan out here with perfect pitch. I was not aware.
Yeah, that was really good.
Wow. Really phenomenal.
That was beautiful.
I absolutely love it. Now, Ian, you've also taken to sort of expanding the network a little bit as well, beyond just the sports coverage, but also adding in some pop culture coverage, some coverage of movies and television and everything like that. Can you tell us a little bit about how that has been so far?
Sure, it's been kind of a slower build. I mean, it's certainly not right now a top priority, but the goal with it would be to eventually have it be an outlet for other options, and I'm talking about Binge Corner. There's no necessarily a affiliation with Full Press Coverage. It's more of a you know, separate site type thing. But you know, through this process of meeting so many different people like Dylan and yourself, and you know, obviously Dylan, because we've spoken a lot about some of those topics over there. There's a lot of interest and a lot of talent that's there that could eventually trickle over to that side of things, where it's like, yeah, talking about sports all the time is great. I mean, I could not picture a better job for myself for me to do 24/7, but I also like movies and TV, and I could talk forever about that. So, well, why not do the same thing and have a little fun at the same time? And I also look at it as an as an opportunity to work with some people that maybe otherwise I wouldn't, because of, you know, obligations for one site or the other. You know, a lot of the people I know are all affiliated with some sort of website or something like that. And sometimes, you know, those you can't really, you know, work together, but when it's completely different, yeah, and you're talking about sports, you're talking about TV, you're talking about movies, music, whatever, and I'm excited to see the challenge that it presents, because it has been a challenge to get out of that mindset of writing about sports and writing about something else. And those that have kind of jumped from topic to topic like that will understand and say, like, yeah, you know, you can kind of dive into one sort of genre, and now all of a sudden you're like, all right, talking about Al Bundy, and maybe you can talk about his 4 touchdowns in a single game, but generally when you're talking about movies, it's hard to cross those worlds together.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of just jump out of it completely and put in a different mindset. But I guess long answer to your very direct question. It's exciting. Like I said, I think the biggest part of the growth is coming later this summer when we have a little bit of time away from the bulk of the sports world and we can really commit to launching properly. But it's going to have a lot of fun stuff ahead, and there's a lot of good podcast opportunities for myself and anyone out there who likes to talk about TV and music or movies or whatever. Because why not talk about whatever.
What about the new iCarly trailer?
Oh, I've never seen an episode.
iCarly was actually pretty good. The original.
It was. The new trailer came out today, Ross.
Oh.
I think that might have been shortly after my time. Like that's like early 2000 that came out, right?
No, that was like 2010.
Was it that? Right. I think I was already in.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I was
in
like
older school.
Yeah, I was too old for it when it came out for sure, but still ended up seeing it.
Late 2000s, early 2010s, and that was one of the first, like, I was like, oh, this is like one of my shows. Yeah. I was like, I was 9 whenever it started, so that was my time.
Remember that story I was telling you off the air?
Yeah,
it was around that time. So just draw your own conclusions.
So the new trailer for that came out today, and I was it really a blast of the past. Seeing like because of course now it's like an adult show, so it's like seeing them say "damn it" and drink beer and stuff like that was really weird.
Beer.
Yeah, beer.
What was the first beer you ever drank? Mine was Red Dog. How about that? It was nasty. I don't even think they make it anymore.
It's that bad. Yeah, I've never had a sip of alcohol.
Wow. Oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that.
So I do not.
It's impressive.
I remember the first alcohol I ever had was a shot of Captain Morgan at my pastor's house when I was 14.
Oh wow!
Whoa!
Let me guess. They moved him somewhere else.
Yes,
perhaps.
That's a whole story, but it wasn't because of that.
We got 35.
They were from Louisiana. No one cared.
Jeez, I love it.
True Detective based in Louisiana.
Yeah.
There's
a lot based in Louisiana, such as this show.
Yeah.
That's really the one that sits at the very top of the list. It's just not Dylan and Ross Save Sports on the list though. It's just that show.
Yeah, that show. So that's all you have to say. That show.
That's all right. All right, Ian. We are coming up to the end of our time with you today before we get into our break. So here's what I want to do. We are now going into the second year of Dylan and Ross Save Sports. We had such an interesting year in sports last year. What is the storyline that you are most looking forward to across sports for the next year? Like, what's the thing that you're really looking forward to going into new seasons here?
Obviously the NFL season, I always talk about Tom, but there's so much intrigue. Obviously we're in the middle of this Julio Jones discussion and what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson? That story has been kind of quiet lately.
Right.
How does Dak Prescott come back from his gruesome injury? There's so many great storylines, but I think having that happen with the fans back. I know I remember a year ago around this time in about a month when hockey came back after those 4 months and there were no fans, but I was just so happy to see hockey. I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. I watched the Bruins game the other night, game 1 against the Islanders, and to have that garden filled to just the absolute packed house for a playoff game. I was like, wow, they were loud, but I feel like I never remembered fans being that loud and obviously a little out of control, but hey, it is what it is.
People are readjusting.
Yeah. Nonetheless, it's, the moments that could have been huge. I mean, we got a little bit of a taste of that in the Super Bowl with actual fans there, but the moments that could have been huge last year with the fans around them will be back, and I'm really looking forward to that. Not only in football, of course, but across all sports.
Love it.
And of course, Ian, I have one question to ask you. How close have we gotten to saving sports in the past year?
I think you guys are 100% fully responsible for bringing us to where we are right now, and that is on the cusp of having sports back the way we know and love them.
What a year also for us to start a sports show.
I know, right? Well, it's like we saw that sports were not existing, and then we went to Ian and we're like, hey, we have an idea.
Let's talk about the sports that aren't being played right now.
But now it kind of makes sense. I was going to say, now it really kind of makes sense because by the time you approached me about the show, I think I was about 2 months deep into doing a 5-day radio show with no sports. So I think I was pretty crazy at the time. But hey, you know what? It doesn't work out.
All I can say is there's literally not a worse position sports can be that we will be talking about.
That's
Because
right.
We've gone through it. We've gone through it to where there was literally no sports happening.
Absolutely.
So now nothing can be worse.
Absolutely.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, man.
Man. Well, Ian, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. You can follow Ian on Twitter at IGLEN31 on Twitter, and you can catch him every morning at FPC Radio Live along with Mike Debate. And joining us here in just a moment is going to be Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football. Our very, very first guest is coming back to celebrate 1 year with us. Ian, really, really appreciate you being here with us.
Thanks for having me, guys, and good luck. And let's look forward to another great year.
Yes, sir.
Boom.
Breaky break.
Break.
Booyah.
All right. Hello, Nick. We're on break on
dude.
audio. We're on break on audio. But
That was messed up, Dylan. You just like, it's like
I
mid-sip.
didn't know. We're on break. Well, I guess on audio and video, we're here.
Nick,
Nick,
check
we
your
can't hear you. We can't
settings,
hear
yeah, on the little gear right.
I wasn't looking.
Yeah.
I was just pressing
Literally
buttons.
like mid sip. You're like the waiter that shows up when somebody has a mouthful.
It's like what it was. It's like whenever you're checking out and you have to get cash out,
Right.
and there's someone behind.
Oh, there
you.
we go. There we go.
There you go.
Hey.
Oh man, Dylan straight up bad waiter juice. So sorry about
Yeah,
that.
I made the same waiter analogy while I was on mute. So yeah, that's good.
There you go. Actually, I could tell you. I read your lips and then I just stole the joke from you. So sorry.
Yeah, I
about
don't think that happened like that, but
Oh no, my quarters.
Ross, why do you just have quarters on?
I was using quarters as an analogy earlier to describe post June 1 cuts and trades and everything, and so I dropped I had quarters, and now I had 4. I dropped them. Now I only have 3. The other one went to the Shadow Realm. I don't know where it is.
that's the dead money, man.
That's dead money. That's right. That was the 1 year that went away this year, but I kept my other 3 quarters, so I got that. Oh man, Nick, thanks so much for being with us, man. We appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
We're technically on break at the moment. We're live video wise, everything. So we'll just keep conversation going, but we'll do a formal introduction once we come back on audio
Okay.
and everything. But we appreciate you taking the time.
Oh,
1 year.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
That's crazy.
Oh man. Yeah, it's really hard to. Or see, Ross, we didn't get to do our favorite thing from Twitter, so now I'll do it right now. For
Oh,
us,
great. Yeah, do it during the break.
It's a 4-second video, and I've been laughing at it nonstop.
All right, here we go.
Let's see. Here we go.
There's a shot to center field. Russ Snyder goes.
Oh man. That's so bad. Oh, jeez.
Oh
Oh my god.
I can't.
That's what, if I had progressed in my baseball career, that's what would have happened to me.
Yeah,
Most
that
of the
was
time.
that was immediately my entire 30-minute baseball career right there, summed up in 1 4-second video.
Oh my god. That's up there. You remember the Jose Canseco clip? The ball off his head? That's right up there with it, man.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
god.
that's hilarious.
So bad. That's so bad. Oh man, what is like the equivalent of that you have done in your lifetime?
Running into a wall?
Yeah, like that.
Like
Like
years
Didn't see it
0 to 25. I mean, of life.
the entirety of 25 years.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. We're about to come back on the audio side. Dylan, you want to retweet this out? Or quote
Yeah,
tweet this out?
yeah.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody, we are back. Dylan and Ross Save Sports here, full press coverage, full press radio network. Dylan Sanders at Dilly Sanders on Twitter, Ross Jackson at Ross Jackson Nola on Twitter. And we are joined by a very special guest to celebrate 1 year with us. He's going to be here with us for the bottom half hour. It is the one, the only Nick Underhill at Nick_Underhill over at NewOrleans.football. Nick was our very, very first guest and was kind enough to come and join us here 1 year in. Nick, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Oh, yeah, man. So we have to start off. Let's start off here with a little bit. You came through as one of our very first guests, or as our very first guest in the month of June last year. So much has changed since the last time, since all of that with the world of sports and everything. How excited are you about where we are now in the world of sports, as opposed to the progress that we've shown since you were last year?
Yeah, I mean, the last time we were here, I think there was high anxiety just about sports existing in 2020. And the fact that we aren't worried about that right now is significantly different. And, just watching the NBA playoffs and seeing fans back in the stadiums. And, I mean, just like those Knicks games were a great reminder of just like how trash everything's really been. And I guess you kind of started to forget for a while because it just became normal to have these like very sterile environments and fake crowd noise and all that. And then once you can kind of feel it and just feel the life coming back to sports and the life in the world, it's a much better reality right now than we were a year ago. There's still a lot of work to be done, but I mean, I think there's optimism now where there was just pessimism a year ago when we were doing this.
Yeah. Did you get to the point, and we've talked about this before for us, that like we got to the point to where anytime that we saw in the midst of the pandemic and everything, old clips of older games as recent as last year with stands full of fans, that we would sort of develop an anxiety around it because we were so used to not seeing people together.
Yeah, definitely. It looked weird. Anything with a lot of people has looked weird to me until, this weekend I was in the casino and there was a pack of people and I was just like, you know what, like I'm doing it. And it was fine, so like, I guess you kind of just got to get past that apprehension. But yeah, I mean, I was at the movies the other day and like I checked the seating chart to make sure nobody was like sitting directly next to me like while I was in there. So I mean, there's still some of that going on, but I think eventually we're gonna get over it. But I think there's probably some anxieties that are good. I mean, there's just things with like touching a menu and then realizing how many people touch it and like, oh, I'm gonna go wash my hands before I eat. Like I don't know if that was always in my thought process my whole life, and like now I'm like kind of disgusted with some of my behaviors in the pre-pandemic times. So yeah, but yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to be crazy when we're in the Superdome and it's 65, 70,000 people compared to a year ago when it was, at the end, I don't even know what it was. What was it, 3,000 people? I mean, it's just going to feel unreal, but I'm ready for it, man.
For sure.
I can't stand going through another season the way it was last year. I just wouldn't have been able to do it. It was horrible.
Yeah. Now, you guys are now both. I want to give a shout out to Dylan and congratulate him because he is now also part of NewOrleans.football, working as is it just TikTok manager or is it social media manager? What's the appropriate?
It's just TikTok. I'm just editing TikToks.
We love it. We love it.
He's a TikTok guru for now. Yeah. Hey, look, I'm getting to be an older guy, so like I need to put younger people around me to help me understand some of the things that are upcoming, so I don't become outdated or anything like that. And look, I'm not ashamed to admit that like I don't necessarily understand TikTok fully. I mean, every time I scroll through there's not really like a lot of sports content, but I think it's our job where there's audience to find a way to get attention. And
damn right.
There's definitely people there and you don't want to be outdated. I can't tell you how many times just, the greatest thing from the pandemic is just this. We're on a video right now doing this and it's super easy. And none of us would have been doing this before then probably. Just because it felt so hard, and I tried to do it before, and it was just I didn't know the tools that existed and how simple it was, and it became overcomplicated, and you just give up on it. And I can't tell you how many times over the last year I've thought, man, I wish I would have been on YouTube the last 10 years. Like I would have this massive audience, I'd be making a ton of money, and it was just a massive missed opportunity. And we're all kind of rushing there now, and we're super late. And there's people on there that. I didn't know who they were. And I go on there and I look and there's people talking about the Saints getting 15, 20,000 views a video. Right. And like these people don't exist on Twitter. So there's like this whole other internet that like we missed out on and we're trying to catch up to now. I don't want to miss out with everything else. So we're going to try to figure it out on TikTok. Starting out, so far so good. I'm encouraged with day one on there for us. This is day one, but yeah, I think that it's our job to figure out how to create content to reach audience where audience exists.
Absolutely.
I gotta be real. TikTok's weird because you kind of have to use TikTok for like 3 weeks before you start liking TikTok, because it builds what it shows you based off of what you watch and what you share and what you like. So now, months, almost probably over a year into using TikTok, there is not a video I do not like that gets shown to me. Like, every video is completely tailored to my interest. But starting out, I hated it.
Yeah, the algorithm is really great, and it's all organic in terms of reach right now too, which is really great. There's not like a pay to promote type of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes really Facebook horrible. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Man, if you ever want to feel bad, just go to Facebook, go to the videos tab, and look at those view numbers. And someone going like, "Whoa, this paper got wet after I put water on it," and it's like 500 million views.
That's insane. But it's indicative of the growth of the site, NewOrleans.football. I mean, there have been new things, new developments there over the course of this year. How has that experience been for you, watching all of it grow?
Yeah, it's been great. And look, I mean, the one thing that me and my wife decided like the first year was that like we weren't going to do anything for a full year, because I'd have a million ideas and I'd try to do them, and half of them wouldn't work. So like I had a million ideas. I'm like, this is what we're going to do next. And then like you think about it and you go through things and you figure out what will work, what won't work. And the fact that we decided to sit on our hands for a year, like I think probably saved us thousands of dollars, because I had a lot of ideas and you just find out. So, I mean, just watching it grow and just, we expected it to do okay the first year. I mean, honestly, we took out a $50,000 line of credit before we started. Never touched it once. I mean, like
that's great.
Like we thought we were gonna have to live off of that for like the first 6 or 7 months, and the day one support, like we never had to touch it. And that's just the way this community embraces us. Is it's just a lot. Like even like every time I think about it, it's just kind of like it's humbling. It's crazy. Like I can't believe it. And we're fortunate, to the point where we're able to start adding, pieces, do different things, try to find different ways to promote it. And, eventually there'll be more people writing for the site and all that stuff if it keeps going in the trajectory that it's going. And, the fact that people are supporting us and allowing us to kind of build something to, in our vision, which, it's not entirely different than what everybody else is doing, but it's different in its own way. And the fact that people are entrusting us with their money to give them that content and hopefully continue to give them more is it's an honor. I mean, I really don't know how else to put it. That's the word that I would use for it.
It's awesome. I checked the TikTok, and the TikTok algorithm's working. It's showing it to football people, because a critical piece of advice to you, Nick, has come through the TikTok comments. Talk about the Titans. All right.
My only tie to the Titans, Vaccaro, he ain't on there anymore. I don't know.
That's right.
Hardly anything about the Titans right now.
All I know about the Titans is that Elijah Molden tweeted out, the rookie cornerback Elijah Molden tweeted out, "Hey, I want someone give me a sick jersey edit for my profile picture," and then someone just cropped a PNG of a jersey and put it over like a picture of him in college, and that's been his profile picture for like weeks ever since he's gotten drafted.
Nice.
And it's hilarious.
So good. I love it. I think we kind of talk about the Titans here, and then it reminds me of another big story in the NFL right now, which of course is New Orleans Saints adjacent, with the Julio Jones conversation and all the talk that's going on there. Julio Jones potentially, I mean, he feels out in Atlanta to me after, Shannon Sharpe calls him in on national television. He tells everybody he's out of there. But what's your read on that situation in terms of where that can go from here, especially now that we're getting beyond June 1?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to trade him, right? I mean, it feels very hard to bring him back into that building. He very clearly doesn't want to be there. It'd be so awkward to have that guy in the building after saying that stuff. I mean, it's much different than, Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers has really never said anything publicly. So he can say, hey, look, this is all BS, even though it's probably not BS and everything probably is very driven by him. But to hear it in somebody's own voice, there's no walking that back. So I don't know what what they can do there. I mean, I don't think they have much leverage. I think it probably will be like a second round pick. I mean, the money's huge. Maybe they could get a little bit more if they eat it, but what's the point of trading them if you got to eat it? So I think he's going to be elsewhere. You know, the funny thing is I don't know how much that'll alter Atlanta. I think they're still going to be a pretty good offense. I mean, I think Pitts is going to be outstanding. Ridley's a number one with or without Julio on that team. I think he's probably quietly started to ascend him, and I think their offense is going to be solid either way. With Julio, they're obviously better, but I still think they're going to be really good either way on offense.
Who are they not going to throw to in the red zone now?
It's the weirdest thing in statistically in the league for several years now. I mean, I can't believe that you have this big bodied guy. You know what's really funny though? Like, this is an aside. The Patriots are a team that's been linked with him, and there's a book Michael Hawley wrote. Can't think of the name of it. But he was behind the scenes with the Patriots, and that draft was one of them. And I believe Dimitrov called Belichick and kind of was picking his brain because he came up in the scouting ranks there. It was just like, hey, would you do this trade? And he quotes Belichick in that book saying, why would you trade for him? He's just a receiver. All he does is catches the ball. And like now they're talking about him going to that team. So that's a little bit awkward too.
Was that his book War Room?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great book.
That's outstanding. Like you got the laugh. Outside of that, as you get ready to embark upon the new year, and we asked Ian Glendon, who's the editor-in-chief here, a similar question. What is the story that you're most looking forward to covering, whether it be New Orleans Saints specific or NFL wise, as you get into the next season?
Man, I want to say something more creative than this, but I'm really eager to see what Jameis Winston looks like in camp.
Sure.
Yeah. I thought he was okay last year in camp. I thought he got better as camp went along too. I thought we started seeing more highlights. It was a little bit sporadic early. I don't think it's really fair to evaluate him off that, just the way last year's offseason was. He was coming in his first snaps in training camp, and you know, by the time in a normal season, he would have had 3, 6, 9, 12 practices. So by the middle of training camp, like he was just hitting where like mini camp would normally end. So a lot of that, you know, learning and stuff where you wouldn't really make a critical observation in an OTA or mini camp, we were making them in training camp. And I don't think it was really fair to him the way he was picking up the offense and everything. So I kind of feel like this is, you know, a clean slate for him. And I want to see what that looks like. You know, the other thing, I want to see what Cesar Ruiz looks like. I feel like we didn't really get a fair look at him either. So I think he can be a lot better than he was. So those are probably the two big ones. Outside of that, I mean, it's covering a hole, I guess, would be cornerback. I mean, that's a major everyday story too. But I'm eager to see how all these things work out. I want to see how Sean Payton evolves his offense. You know, outside of Breeze. I've talked about this stuff a lot. Just, you know, you can look at their route concepts from 2015 to 2020. And if you like laid it over, you'd see 3 routes the same. And the fourth one that used to go down the field is like hooking now. Yeah. So like, you know, I want to see how that stuff changes and how it goes back to normal. And if they can become more explosive and all that stuff, I still believe they're going to be I don't know if you guys agree with me. I still believe they're going to be a good team. Like I really do. And, you know, There's really no delicate way to say this, but I say it in the most respectful and delicate way possible. Like I actually think that they can be better at quarterback than they were last year. And, you know, I think Breeze kind of admitted that himself at the golf tournament when, you know, he talked about all the stuff he wasn't able to do. So, you know, that's just the main thing is just that quarterback Peyton and the protection for the quarterback really are the main things I'm excited to see.
That's great. Yeah. I think we both agree that they can still be a very good team next year, depending on how everything pans out around the quarterback spot.
Yeah,
I almost
100%.
said the quarterback position, and I know you hate that.
I hate it. It's no need. It's a redundant word. You don't got to say it. We know it's a position. It's like former player analysis on ESPN. Like they say that all the time, and like I think it's just like through osmosis has become like lingo.
Yeah.
It's like sort of like when there's an injury, they're like, he's got a leg. Like, what do you mean he's got a leg? Of course
he's got a leg.
We got a question in. One more question before we switch to something else. Maddie Hudak. Shout out Maddie, by the way. You know, PA announcer for the New Orleans Jesters. Bunch of good work over at ESPN as well. Do y'all think Ruiz stays at guard or they make the center switch this offseason?
Yeah, speaking of somebody that takes advantage of platforms, Maddie's like everywhere I look now. So shout out to you, Maddie. You're on the grind for sure. Almost grinding as hard as Ross, but I don't think anybody grinds as hard as Ross.
Thank you. Man.
You know, I think that there's a school of thought that they've invested a year in him at guard, and they want to see how that comes to fruition. I think they feel like he's close to getting it. Going back to center, you kind of be starting over, but I think there's two players here at play too. And look, if he struggles at guard again in camp, I think you have to make. I don't want to say make the switch, but you have to at least entertain the idea of making the switch. But it's not just as simple as putting him at center. Like McCoy also has to be comfortable at guard, and you got to make sure both players end up in their best spot, or at least the spots that make your team the best. But I do think that going into it, they would like him to remain a guard. And I know going into camp last year, the idea was that he was going to play center, and then it just didn't work out. But I think they feel like it's close enough that could be his best position going forward.
Yeah, I think Zach Strief, new assistant offensive line coach, kind of gleaned toward that as well, right? During the golf tournament where he mentioned Eric McCoy specifically as somebody that's going to be something about him being hard to beat or something like that at that spot, something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, the enticing thing about having him at guard is he has 4.89 speed, and you start having him pull and get out there. I think there's things you can do that you can't do necessarily with Ruiz, but you know, he's amazing at center too. So you just got to figure out what the best thing is for the team. That's a boring answer, but I think that's really what it's going to be. I don't think the door's closed, but I think there's a preference for Ruiz to stay at guard.
Can't wait to see Eric McCoy pulling off center pulls and sweeps. Can't wait.
All right. If there's one thing that me and Ross are really good at, it's taking people, having people come on, and having people that specialize in one thing come on and then talk about something completely different. Such as we had an NFL player talk about cereal for 40 minutes with us. So Nick, Nick, I want to talk right now. We have a game. It'd be weird to do a one-year show without doing something that we do regularly on the show. And we want to do a bracket fight. But for the bracket fight, we figured with you, we'd do hip hop and R&B albums of the decade.
Okay, I'm with it.
Would you be down?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, I'm with it.
All right. So it's a bigger one. So for at least the first round, we can go through and don't have to go super deep into them. But we like to talk about music and do games. So here we have So Much Fun by Young Thug versus this is Marshall Mathers LP2, I think.
Who cares, honestly? It doesn't matter which Eminem album that is. It's all the same.
Yeah, so honestly, while I respect his pen and everything he's done in rap, I've never really related to Eminem's music. I've just never really wanted to. I've never really wanted to like kill my mom or like my significant other. So I got to go with Young Thug on this one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am not. Me and Ross have said it frequently. Oh, here we go again. We can just move on. What's the album on the left? I don't know off the top of my head. I don't recognize that album cover, but Pressure by Logic, right, Ross? This is one of your favorites.
That's a great album, and that was when Logic was still kind of in his underground, like trying to grind his way in type of motion, and that was where he was at his best.
Oh, this is an interesting round.
I see on the last one I go the other way. I'm not a big Logic fan either. No offense, I just think he's a little bit, I don't know.
I have fallen out
a little bit corny to me. I hate to use that word, but
he's definitely gotten there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just not. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I agree with the one above too. Acid Rap. That's an automatic go through. I think that was actually like a classic blog era mixtape.
Oh, so yeah, we're gonna roll back around to them. It's just the easier ones we can roll through. If you're reading this, it's Too Late versus Pray for Paris, and this is an interesting one. A classic album versus one that I think will be a classic in a couple of years.
I'm a noted Drake hater, so I'm on the right.
Plus, you're a noted Griselda lover, so
yes,
this is an easy one.
Yeah.
This is Drake versus Ab Soul. Do you have any strong feelings about Ab Soul, Nick?
I'm a noted Drake hater, so I'm going.
Ross, do you have?
I'm not a noted Drake hater, but I am not a huge fan of Views, and so for me, it's Ab-Soul. I am a big fan of Ab-Soul, though.
All right. Oh no!
Oh, come on!
Oh, why did they put these two against each other? All right. To Pimp a
Well,
Butterfly versus Blonde.
You know, I was late on Pimp a Butterfly. Like I was not a huge fan of the album when it first came out, and then when I came back and revisited it, I think it was too far ahead of its time for me, or something. But I have to go with Kendrick, man.
I
I
do
love them
too.
both. I love them both. It's like killing one of your kids. So
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not easy.
Blonde. The answer is to Pimp a Butterfly, but I want to give a shout out to Blonde since I'm not going to be able to at any point of this. That's one of the most
Right.
emotionally attached. I'm like Blonde. I'm emotionally attached to it almost more than any other album. I think.
I'd take Channel Orange over Pimp a Butterfly though.
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. Like the cultural, like for me, I'm looking at cultural significance too, like for both of these. And so like cultural significance for me between those two is Pimp a Butterfly. But if you threw Channel Orange in there, I'd take Channel Orange.
Plastic Beach versus Compton. Interesting.
I absolutely love the Compton album. I think I like it more than most people do.
All right, Ross.
I'm a West Coast rap guy, so that's easy for me.
All right, let's go Compton.
That's simple.
Some rap songs versus Revenge of the Dreamers. Ross, noted J. Cole hater.
Noted
but,
J. Cole hater.
But this album has a lot of really good songs on it.
I'm sure they say that.
I never understood some rap songs. I never got it. It never made sense to me. Like everything's out of beat, out of tune, and I know it's supposed to be, and he's doing something on there that just did not make sense to me. And this might be an album that in a few years I come back to and I'm like, oh, okay, like I get it now. But
I like it more every time I listen to it. But
yeah, I think it's like drinking, I don't know, like LaCroix or something. Like you got to keep drinking it, and eventually you'll like it.
yeah, Revenge of the Dreamers just has so many bangers on it. I can't not.
I'm Revenge
can't
here.
not.
There you go.
Awesome. Thank Me Later versus Carter 5. This is easy. This is
Great.
easy. Imperial versus Lost Boy. Ooh, two.
Lost Boy all the way.
Yeah, I go
Wow.
Lost Boy too.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
listen. All right.
I think
all right.
Lost Boy might be a classic, man.
Mhm.
Lost Boy is amazing. Two very good starter. Oh yeah, well I'm going Taboo, 100%.
Yeah,
But shout out to Pink Friday though. I'll give it its due. So Ginger versus Oxymoron.
Yeah.
I vote Ginger here. I like Ginger a lot.
I'm indifferent.
Ross.
Yeah, I have actually only listened to Oxymoron, I think. So I don't know that I'm helpful because I just create a tie. So go with Ginger then. I think I'm.
All right.
it's-
All right. Usher Raymond versus Control.
Easy. For me, it's Control.
Okay, yeah, I vote Control.
Am I?
too,
Is that
so it moves on.
slanderous? Is that
No,
slanderous
I
of
know.
me?
I vote Control too. So we move on. I think it's one of the best like R&B albums I've heard ever. Right? Am I
Yeah,
crazy?
so- Yeah.
I
No, it's
agree.
great.
All right. Asteroid versus is this Untitled or Mastered? No, Section 80.
Section 80.
I'm dumb.
Section 80. Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy.
I missed the two up. You think? Okay, let's go Section 80.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard to knock Kendrick out this list, I think.
444 versus I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside. It's 444. Right.
Yeah, it's another classic album, man.
Another classic. Coloring Book versus Summertime '06. I didn't hate Coloring Book, but it's Summertime '06. Vince Staples. I love this album.
Yeah, I'm fine either way. I didn't hate Coloring Book either. He's kind of fallen off since then, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm fine with Summertime.
Coloring Book feels like the last bastion. Like it feels like the last good one from
Yeah.
him. But all right, Summertime '06 is fine. I mean, I like that album too. So
Jay-Z versus Because the Internet. Because the Internet is a classic. It's undeniable. I think classic. This has what? Oh, my suit and tie. That's the only thing I can remember from this album.
Is that the one with Rick Ross on it too?
Probably. It's a Jay-Z album.
Yeah, I don't want to drop the F word, but the F with you know I got it.
Yeah. Oh
Is
yeah.
that- is that the
yeah.
one? Yeah.
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 But
Yeah,
because
but
the
that's
internet,
definitely
Yeah.
that's one of his weaker albums. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fine with Gambino.
because of the internet, he created a whole character because it's just one of the most interesting album rollouts of all time. He wrote
Yeah.
a screenplay for it. It's incredible. DS2 versus The Hills. Is that what this album's called? I can't remember. I think it's The Hills. I know it's the song, but
Is that Beauty Behind the Madness or something?
Beauty and the Madness. There we go.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of either album, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither, actually. But I do love the Weeknd. So
Weekend gave us quality gifts and memes during the Super Bowl, so let's just pick them.
okay.
Show him some love.
Okay.
Show him some love.
All right. Well, we know where this
Well,
is
this
going, but I do love faces. But it is Channel Orange. Easy. We don't even have to talk about that one. Triple X
easy,
versus DiCaprio 2. Which one do you think it is?
Definitely Jid.
Okay. Yeah, I do love Jid. Shout out Danny Brown. That's maybe my favorite mixtape ever.
Oh, I'm out on this one.
It's Forest Hills for me by a mile, but
Oh yeah, no, easy. But Ross doesn't like either of these. All right, so it's Acid Rap versus So Much Fun. It's Acid Rap, right?
yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
All right. Pray for Paris. I go Pray for Paris over Under Pressure.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Super Butterfly versus Absol. Temple
Butterfly.
Butterfly.
For me. Yeah.
Yeah. Compton versus Rich and the Dreamers. I go Compton.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'll go with you. I'm with you on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a big win for my brand. Thank you.
The Carter 5 versus Lost Boy.
I'm going Lost Boy.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, let's go. I'm glad. I love the. Oh, this one's all me. This is all. This is my music.
Your pick goes, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's Taboo. Taboo is one of my favorite albums of all time.
All right. Dope.
Control versus Section 80. I go Control.
Oh man.
Any day of the week over Section 80.
I'm gonna go Control too.
I can go the other way, but hey, I'll take the loss.
Is it moving on? Hello?
Oh, it's doing
All right.
that.
444 versus Summertime 06.
I go
444.
444.
Oh, yep.
The old guys win.
Because the internet versus Beauty Behind the Madness. Because the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite vinyls I own, by the way. It's just the vinyl itself is really cool. Channel Orange versus yeah.
Sorry, Jid.
Jid's gonna have an album of that quality eventually, but not yet. Acid Rap versus Pray for Paris.
I gotta go Acid Rap. I hate it. I don't want him to win this side of the bracket, and I'm starting to get scared that he's gonna. But
I'm going Pray for Paris.
Oh man. I think Acid Rap's more in a rotation for me than Pray for Paris is.
All right.
I'm gonna go Acid
All
Rap.
right. All right. Oh, whoops.
I'm
I think
okay
that was the
with
pick
that.
anyway. It was a mistake, but I think that was the pick
that's
anyway.
the right pick. That's the right pick.
Yeah.
Lost Boy versus Taboo. I'm Taboo all the way. I love.
know where I'm at.
I love.
Yeah. Nick and I are unmovable on Lost Boys so far.
Come on, man. Control versus 444. I'm sticking with Control.
I'm
I gotta go
444.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm out of my element. Because the internet versus Channel Orange, I go Channel Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't think Acid Rap is gonna win.
Acid Rap versus To Pimp Butterfly. I go To Pimp Butterfly.
So do
Yeah,
I.
I'm with you. Yeah.
All right, there we go. See, there you go.
4-4. Oh, this is all y'all. This is
my
all
children.
y'all.
Oh no.
This is all y'all.
Oh no, my
This
heart.
is all y'all.
I think I go 444.
I do too. That's exactly what I was thinking too.
All
I
right,
have to.
I would go there too. I vote with y'all once. It's okay. Channel Orange versus Forest Hill Drive. Channel Orange.
Yeah.
I'm just so glad
All right,
for J.
and
Cole,
then
to be honest.
Super Butterfly versus 444. Again, this is y'all. I'll let y'all do this one.
For me,
I'll break a tie if I have to. Again.
All right. For me, Nick, it's To Pimp a Butterfly.
I think I'm 444, man.
All right. All on you, Dylan.
I'm going to Butterfly.
All right. Both incredibly impactful. Both of those albums.
Yes.
No.
Super
this is
Butterfly
exactly what we
versus
said.
Channel Orange, and this is what we said. And I'm also voting Channel Orange.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
There you go.
all right. So that's the winner of that side. We can move a little quick. Love is Rage versus Lemonade.
Lemonade.
I'll go Lemonade.
I don't care either way.
I'll go Lemonade. FKA Twigs versus oh, shout out.
Oh, Pinata for sure.
Hey,
Yeah, shout out. Easy. I hate
Pablo.
Pablo.
EA versus Pablo.
Get
Pablo
the other one out of
any
here.
day of the week. The Saturation Trilogy versus Beyonce.
Oh, the whole trilogy? I
Yeah.
gotta go with the trilogy.
That's kind of cheating.
Yeah.
Should we just pick one of these three? I'd say Saturation 3,
Saturation
probably.
3? Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cheating if you give them the whole trilogy, right?
Oh, definitely the right.
Take it.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Yep.
Nick has never had an easier decision.
Ross, you've never had an easier decision. I know you
Oh,
really
yeah,
love
this
this
is-
album.
Easy.
I
Yeah,
lo-
it's one of my favorite vinyls. What were you saying? Nick?
No, I'm a big fan of it too as well.
Dope.
Um,
Oh man,
I'd have to go
Man on the
Cuddy.
Moon versus. Yeah, it's Cuddy.
That album's aged better than
it's so good.
over the years too. I mean, it was kind of a disappointment at the time, but it's aged well.
Schoolboy Q, Habits and Contradictions versus Beyonce 4.
Is this the Beyonce bracket?
I know,
I
right?
know. This is the Beyonce side, I guess.
Jeez. I could go either way on these.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you guys.
I'm going Schoolboy Q.
All right, let's do it.
Tanashi.
Oh, okay.
I did not expect to see Tanashi on this bracket. But it's also Watch the Throne.
Just
Thrown
watch it
all the
throw
way.
it. Yeah.
All American Badass versus Alfredo. It's
Alfredo.
Alfredo.
Alfredo, yeah.
I mean, shout out Joey Badass. 2 Chainz versus Dre. I don't remember the name of this album, but it's the 2 Chainz. Right.
known Drake hater
Two
Nick
Chainz.
probably
Two
agrees.
Chainz. Yeah.
Um.
I feel like I've influenced this whole process.
Rihanna, Unapologetic, I think, right? Versus Live Love ASAP. It's Live Love ASAP for me.
I'm
Easy.
Rihanna. All right.
Which one was for you? Nick?
Rocky.
Okay, good. Oh no!
Oh wow! Come on.
No,
They could have done this with the Beyonce albums.
no.
They
Right,
should've.
get them, put them against each other. These are 2 of my favorite albums ever.
I feel like the one on the left was more culturally significant.
Yeah,
Igor, right?
yeah, Igor. This is definitely the better album, I guess. But I just have this from whenever this came out and like what it talked. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I'll go Igor.
Oh,
It's
God.
easy. It's Flower Boy.
Yeah.
we don't talk about that era. Arcandroid versus the Carter 4. I go Arcandroid.
C4. I go C4.
Yeah.
Ross. Okay.
Yeah, it was C4 for me.
Okay. Beer bongs and Bentleys versus Yeezus.
I gotta go. I'm gonna go Yeezus. I'm gonna go Yeezus.
I'm going
Yeah, so am I.
Yeezus
So am I.
all the way.
All right, dope.
Oh, Benny. I'm going Benny.
Yeah, it's
I was gonna say this one's probably easy too.
Damn.
Damn.
Rodeo versus. I'll go Rodeo any day of the week. Rodeo is
Damn.
one of my favorite. Oh,
It's damn. Come on.
Look, You
Which
should've
one?
invited-
Which?
You should have invited some younger people, man. It's
listen. All I gotta say is, if I never thought that Young Thug, Travis Scott, and Justin Bieber could all hop on a track and have it be as amazing as it was. You know, it's a feat, but I guess I'll go Damn. I guess. I love Kendrick. That's just Damn's the lowest on the list for me. Kitsy Ghost versus whatever the Circles, I think.
I was
Or that
going
Post
Ghost.
Malone album. It's Kitsy Ghost. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
I
not
like
a
that
Post
album.
Malone fan.
I love Kitsy Ghost. Crash Talk versus
I'm on Gambino.
yeah,
Yeah,
Gambino.
same.
Sure. I'll go with that. Good Kid Mad.
Oh, come on. Come on. They didn't have to do that.
This one was made on
Jeez.
purpose for sure.
Yikes.
If we're Grammy voters, it's the heist, but I guess Good Kid, Mad City. I guess we can right the wrong, right?
Yeah, we got just
We
young
must.
enough. We got just young enough here to get this one right.
Lemonade
for
versus Pinata.
All right.
I'm gonna be a real Pinata might win this out of the bracket. Saturation 3 versus Pablo. It's Saturation.
Pablo.
I go Pablo too.
Disgusting. My vote for Twisted Fantasy versus American Teen.
I think Twisted Fantasy might be like the best album of the last 15 years. So
Agreed. Yeah, this is it's gonna be tough to knock that one out.
I don't think it will, honestly. Man on the Moon versus Habits and Contradictions.
Man on the Moon for me.
yeah.
Same. Easy. Alfredo versus Watch the Throne.
Ooh,
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm gonna go Throne.
I'm going Alfredo.
Oh, I have to break the tie.
It's tough.
No,
man.
you won't. I'm changing my name to. I'm changing my answer to. Throne.
You're
Throne's
changing
better.
your name to Throne
I'm
Sanders?
changing
That's wild.
I'm changing my answer to Throne.
All right, great. Oof.
Um,
I felt the pressure there for a second.
2 Chainz
Rocky.
versus it's Rocky.
Yep.
Rocky. Igor. Igor
Yeah,
for
yeah, go
sure.
with Igor.
C4 versus Yeezus. I'm voting at Yeezus.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Benny versus Dam.
I got to go damn.
I gotta
Sorry.
go damn too.
Hey,
All right. Kissy Ghost versus
Awaken My Love.
Awaken My
Awaken
Love.
My Love.
That's
I'm going
yeah.
Awaken My Love.
Yeah,
I'm
me
going
too.
Kissy Ghost. Oh, all right. I do love Awaken My Love. Pinata versus
Pinata.
Pablo. It's Pinata.
Pinata. Yep.
Yep. Yep.
He was turning
versus-
to King of the Hill for a moment.
Throne versus ASAP.
Man,
Throne
I love
for
that.
me.
Yeah, I gotta go Throne.
All right. Igor versus Igor.
I'm going Jesus.
Give
I'll
me
go
one,
Yeezus.
Nick. No,
gotta go Yeezus.
give me one. Give me one. Album. Give me one.
I gotta go damn there.
Awaken My Love versus Damn.
Damn.
I'm
yeah.
going. All right.
Where were you going, Dylan? I'm sorry.
Awaken My Love.
All right. Well,
Pinata versus
Kanye.
It's Kanye.
there you
Kanye or Kanye? Kanye and Jay-Z or
go. Is
Kanye?
it the old Kanye or the new Kanye?
I
I gotta go
Yeezus.
Throne.
I'm gonna go Jesus. Sorry, Nick.
Let's go.
Got it. Dylan finally gets a dub.
Good kid.
Damn versus Good Kid. Yes, Good Kid.
Yep. 1000%.
Kanye
I
to the
go.
left.
Yeah, I go left Kanye.
Yep.
Ooh,
Kanye versus Good Kid, Mad City.
I gotta go. Fantasy man.
I do too. I'm going there too.
That's great.
Um,
I gotta go.
And
fantasy
what a-
again.
I gotta
What
go
the
fantasy.
final?
Yeah, it's
right,
Channel
I'm going
Orange or My
fantasy.
Dark Twisted Fantasy. I think it's My Dark Twisted Fantasy, but that's such a great.
all right. Oh, that was emotionally draining. Next time I'll do it with only my friends, and so that we.
Jeez,
can get
we
the
got
music
we
that I
got
like.
completely ousted.
Yeah,
Nick.
but
Damn.
he just broke up with both of us, right?
Right.
Should have let him pick Igor.
For real. We'll come back
Please, just
tomorrow
give
for
me
Dylan
Igor.
Saves Sports. Jeez.
Listen, all I wanted was one gosh darn album, and y'all old people won't let me have anything.
Hey, Pinata had a good run.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah, I
It
got
did.
a run.
Pinata.
You even got a
Wu-Tang.
crappy J. Cole album in there for a little while. It's great.
You know the Wu-Tang didn't show up on there. Which I guess
Yeah,
it was 20. It was
there's no
2010s.
Nas either. Yeah,
It's-
so
Oh, it was only 2010s, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cool deal.
Good stuff.
I'll use,
Dylan, you want
I'll use this as an excuse to show off the DMX album that I have. It's a
Oh,
live.
nice.
It's a live concert numbered to 3,000. So only 3,000 of these exist.
oh nice.
So it's pretty cool. I like
everybody break into Dylan's house right now?
it. Boop, boop, boop.
Really bombard
All right. Well, thank you, Nick, for coming. Our first guest and our latest guest because we're in the middle of recording.
It's funny how that works.
You can,
Dylan. Really great observation, Dylan.
you can find Nick on Twitter at Nick_Underhill. NewOrleans.football for some great stuff. On TikTok as well. Go run that thing up. Shout out to Ross. You can find him on Twitter at Ross Jackson Nola. And if you ever are listening to a piece of content or watching anything, Ross probably had a hand in it. Thank you.
Yes, he did help produce that Seahawks video you just watched,
That's right. That's right.
as well as the Purdue football hype video.
Yeah.
Actually, the
or-
voiceover for that.
or even just the voice. Ross actually sings every song on the voice.
right.
Ross, thank you again for. I couldn't have thought of anyone better to do this every day with for the past year, and I can't wait to do another year or another 40 years. Ross, you're never getting rid of me. I will be like a parasitic. I'll bite on and hold on to whatever you do for the next until I die.
And we are along for the ride together, my friend. I appreciate you.
There we go. And then thanks everyone for listening. And I could only think of one way to really round us out tonight.
Lord.
I'd like to sit up there and say something that I've never said about an NFL team before. I mean, Atlanta Falcons might be the dumbest